Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. To be pretty honest, this is the fifth time I record this video. I have so many things to say after 1 year and a half of using it on home recording on stage with two bands. One of them is rock and the other one is folk rock. Really nice bands. I will leave the links in the description. But I was trying to make a video of the good, the bad things, and try to be as impartial as possible. But sadly, I reached the point where I find out, after reading many times the script, I find out that I need to swap this. It doesn't fits anymore the needs of a modern music band. Okay, maybe if you are in home recording, or maybe if you are those very classic guys that only plays like 95% piano and just need some time, like a little tiny bit of another effect or something like that, or maybe to accompany it with a little bit of organ in some sections. But if you are mainly focused on piano, this thing is amazing. It's awesome. For modern music, sadly it is not anymore, at least for me. I am a power user. I tend to make a lot of heavy programming. I am using Keystage because Keystage also gives me like a lot of total control of the sound, the parameters, and everything. So I need something more suited to that. Sadly, I cannot buy a Nord Stage 4. Would be a more perfect piano for me. But sadly, I have to sell my house and a kidney to be able to afford one of those things. But after seeing the Kurzweil PC4 tutorials, I've been looking it with envy eyes, because you can control almost anything, and really, I really like that piano. Started to like that piano. Maybe I'm going to test it later and compare it, because I really will miss the feeling of these keys. It's amazing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to make this kind of rundown of all the points that I have in the original script. And later in the video, I'm going to expand each one, because the last time I recorded this video, I did spend like 1 hour and 5 minutes going through the details of each of the parts. So I'm going to go very quickly, and basically the video is about the good, the bad, and the ugly things of the Kurzweil of the of the NUMA X Piano after 1 year of using it on stage with two modern music bands. Okay, so the first chapter is the good. The hardware side: compact, really nice, amazing keyboard, tons of inputs and outputs, amazing controls, really neat, but really compact. But you will see what I'm talking about later. Excellent sounds for live performances. I've been comparing the sounds with high-end plugins that I have in the iPad, and although they are not the best for studio recording, they could really easily through the mix. You don't have to apply any kind of extreme EQs, or you don't have to crank up the volume to hear it through the mix. Audio inputs: 4 audio inputs. You can assign effects to them, and you can make some very nice configurations, although they are lacking on the amount of control they offer through MIDI, which I really miss. Generous pedal inputs: 3 pedal inputs. You can connect switch continuous, or you can connect the triple pedal through one of the inputs and leave the rest for other things. Okay, Great portability. You have a really compact, really small keyboard. It's 1 meter across. It is the same size of the most of the 61 keys in us, and they are providing you with 73 keys. So it's really portable. It's 11 kilos. It's kind of, you can carry in a backpack, but it's really small. And one feature that I really like, and that I will really miss if I switch to the Kurzweil, is the USB audio. It does transmit and receive USB audio through the USB. No real estate wasted. For example, Roland is one of the biggest offenders here because they tend to put this plastic chunk of plastic to the side of the keyboard just to accommodate a really tiny mod wheel and pitch pen joystick. It makes no sense. And in overall, it's a really good platform. This concept is going to make sense later, but it's a really good platform that has a lot of potential if Studiologic wants to increase the amount of features controllable via MIDI and so far. So those are the good. The bad ones are the internal sounds. Although they are really good for stage, they could really easily through the mix, no matter how awful the front of house engineer is. The sounds are not quite good for studio albums, for example. There are a couple of issues here and there that you can notice in the organs. The pianos are kind of okay. They increase the beds on the odds on the including the new NUMA piano engine, which incorporates sympathetic resonance and a lot of things. And they incorporated a new stage D piano, but still I just prefer to stick to high quality plugins. There is a video that I'm going to link that they played a really nice song in Studiologic Latin America, but still I feel that it is not suited for most genres. Some classy, some jazzy tunes, but not everything. Okay. No independent volume control. You cannot control the headphones volume nor the main out volume independently. If you move the volume knob, it is going to increase or decrease the headphones and the main out at the same time. It would be nice to have independent controls, especially having this extra rotary knob here that could be assigned to that function. Audio input routing limitations. The 4 inputs are just for dynamic microphone, which is okay, but the problem is that they always go through the USB and through the main out. You cannot, for example, cut the sound through the main out and just make the inputs go to the USB, process it into the DAW and send it back to the main out through the USB. That would be a really nice feature to have to separate or not to monitor the inputs directly to the main out, but just send it through the USBs to be able to process it with high-end plugins or weird effects or guitar effects for the guitar especially, or something like that. Half-code MIDI implementations. There are a lot of parameters that you cannot control via MIDI. It makes no sense. Please, you have 16 channels. You can make combinations between channels and MIDI messages to be able to control all the parameters, not just the volume, not just a few things, but all the parameters. It is needed. I need it for more than dynamic playing. Half-baked physical controls. You cannot switch the functions of these controls. This is just for the volume, and it is going to be always for the volume. You cannot assign that for other things. And something that I would like to have is, for example, if you click them, you will switch on and off the songs, and if you hold them, you will solo the songs. Well, I would like to have that functionality in these buttons, because these buttons currently are making nothing more than selecting the songs, and that is useful in the home when you are crafting the sound, not in live environment. So I would like to switch those functions, and please, Studiologic, allow the users to customize their instruments to their music, to their style, to their liking. Don't impose that. You have not going to talk about that. No relative parameter control. Oh god, it went down, sorry. On the no relative parameter control, when you assign, for example, the volume control of the expression pedal, which is one of the few controls that you can assign to other parameters, if you assign it to more zones, to more than one zone, if you move the pedal, all the volumes are going to jump immediately to the position of the pedal. There is no like, for example, if you have the volume of zone 1 here and the volume of zone 2 here, you cannot do this. Now, if you move the pedal, they are going to be moved to the pedal position, and they move unisonally on the unison. Okay. Far from good parameter assignment. I already spoke about that, and if you watch the Coursewell tutorials, you will see that you can assign any parameter to the knobs and the faders and the buttons that you want. Okay, please, Studiologic. Rotary speaker assignment is a pain. I have a short explaining how you have to just select the organ, select the rotary, then go to the configuration, select the parameter you want to move with the joystick, with the mod wheel joystick, and then you have to come back and activate the effect. It's cumbersome. You should make that automatically as soon as I select an organ sound, or as soon as I select the rotary effect. That should be assigned automatically. There is some inconsistencies on the sustain pedal model that the strings have, especially because you have some strings that when you press the sustain pedal and you press simultaneously or multiple times the one chord, it is going to let me show you. In that mode, the notes stack in top of the other, increasing the volume. And in other orchestral, for example, in this one, the sound cuts. And that shouldn't be a problem if it weren't for another issue that the NUMA piano have, that is that there is almost no control on the attack and release parameters. I'm going to show you that later. Okay, that sustain pedal model should be something that you must assign independently, because there are some situations when a sustain model is better than the other for certain styles or certain songs. That should not be assigned automatically and at random at the liking of Studiologic guys. Please, it's my song, my piano, my styling. Attack and release is not correctly implemented. Let me show you. Attack on this one. If I lower this, the attack keeps the same. Anything lower than 64, it's the factory attack. What applications like cinematics do is that they record all of the sounds with a really fast attack, and then they add in the preset the amount of attack they consider it should be for that preset. Okay. And 15 minutes already. It's impressive. And chapter 3, the ugly, the things that I believe that Studiologic needs to address immediately, independently on how hard it is for them to implement. Okay, so the first one is the key sensitivity. If I hit the keys really, really hard, it doesn't matter. It is not going to reach, as you can see in the top part of this thing here in this section. I have to hit it like really, really hard, and I believe it is because of this. Yes, I have it cranked up to 25%. Now I am cranking it really hard, and it is not reaching to the 127 MIDI velocity that it should reach. I have to come to the settings and crank it up, and now it reaches the maximum and a reasonably force when I hit the keys. Okay. No set list mode. Okay. Well, speaking about the sensitivity, they should go back to what they did on the SL series MIDI controllers, where you were able to draw your own curve for each of the songs, and you were able to save that curve in each of the songs, because there are times where I want certain sensitivity on one instrument and certain sensitivity on the other instrument. That's why. Set list mode needed. The favorites kind of work like a set list. You can have, for example, these are the different scenes of a song, and if I go here and I select the second song, the second slot, sorry, this menu could act like a song list. Okay, so you come to this song, the last song, and you select the different scenes for that song. For some reason, Studiologic, please, what the hell? If I come to the programs, this is really annoying. Every time I hit, this should be kept into the favorites. Only when I hit song banks, it should go to the song banks. If I hit, for example, if I am into the song banks and I hit up and down, it is going to allow me to change the programs. But if I am in favorites and I hit up, really. So if I am in the middle of the song and I need to jump to the other song, I finish in a song and I need to jump to other song, I need to go up and then very carefully select the next song to be sure to not jump like 3 or 4 songs and then hit OK. Why? That should be like down, next song, sing immediately, first sing, second sing, something quick. And this is one of the things that is preventing me to use this piano in live environments without the need of the iPad. I'm really using this piano like a MIDI controller. More presets also, it's needed. It only have 16 favorites or banks or groups of favorites. I need more because I'm playing in 2 bands. Okay. The seamless transition is not working correctly. Let me show you really quick. Here I have 4 presets. Here as you can see, I can call the bank that I like from here. So if I am in bank 240, for example here, and I switch to bank 241, the sound cuts with the sustain pedal pressed. Okay, the sustain pedal is still pressed. But if I do the same, I do that, I hit the keys, and I do this, the sounds keep sounding, and the effects changes and everything. The previous sound sounds, and the second sounds are sounding too, without the sustain pedal, because the sustain pedal is right now being used for the previous sounds. Sustain pedal out. So there is something going on with the seamless transition that they haven't implemented correctly. That should also be fixed if you plan to use a stage piano as an stage piano. So a stage, the name stage somewhat suggests that you should use this piano on stage. Please add the capability for us to create our own instruments. Okay, sometimes I need to launch some audio effect, some track, some quick track, or some, ambience track like rain, like thunders, things like that. And I would really appreciate it if you allow us to import our own sounds into the piano. Still no iPad or Android app. It's 2024. We are near 2025, and at least Kurzweil PC4 does have iPad app. Okay, that would be needed. It's needed, and the capability to use it as an VST, for example. This is kind of nitpicky. I would like to have my own color scheme, especially for visually impaired people with color blindness. That would be perfect, because this color scheme is really easy to pick up, but this color scheme is not that easy, especially for these three first songs. I have a little bit of trouble. I can see in the screen the different colors, red, yellow, green, and blue, but here, due to the crosstalk communication contamination of the LEDs illuminating a little bit inside, it's becoming harder for me to distinguish. I don't know if it is the same for you. And all of these changes would be possible if Studiologic stops paying too much attention to less impactful or less important things. Okay, like simulating the string resonance or the sympathetic resonance. There are other things that need more attention than that. Wasting precious resources, especially when you say, I've seen a few comments from Studiologic stating that their budget is not the biggest one, their development team is not the biggest one. So you should focus the time and resources to develop something complicated like a new piano engine, which doesn't bring like a huge change to the sound, to other things like these ones that I already mentioned. Okay. To finish up, I would like to see in a second iteration, I really hope this piano succeed and they could implement everything that I say here and even more, because they are smarter people than I am, and they know more people than I am using this piano on live environments, I hope. And I would really appreciate in a second iteration if this piano could incorporate the following things: full USB integration, like the ability to turn on the piano via USB-C, and the ability to turn other and charge, for example, an iPad through the USB. Currently, I am doing this with Let me see if I can show you, like here. I'm doing this with a USB hub that I have here. I'm providing charge to it. It splits the charge for the USB connectors, and then it sends charge to the iPad that I have connected here, all that simultaneously. I believe they can easily incorporate that because the circuitry to do that is really, really cheap. Okay, a smaller and that could bring a smaller and more power efficient power supply, like the gallium nitride or something like that. Gallium, let's say, chargers that are really small, packed a lot of power, like 60 watts, 60 watts of power. That could be enough to provide power to a computer, a few gadgets, and the piano itself. And remember that the power delivery protocol could allow them to know if the power is enough to power everything. Okay. Compatibility with the mix phase, that is something that they probably could implement right now. I don't know, but it could be really nice to see that in the NUMA X Piano 2, for example. A proper Hammond engine. I wanted this for a second iteration because that would need a few faders in this side. 4 faders is okay. You can like apply some shift button to control the other 4 faders. That doesn't matter. But after seeing that you took all that time, resources, and effort to implement string resonance and all of that, I seriously believe that you are in a position and you have the power to bring some proper organ engine. Okay, not those sampled engines, but organs, but a proper organ engine. And lastly, XLR outputs. Okay, that would be awesome for a stage piano, for the stages, for concerts, for things like that. Leave the quartet, or maybe you can add some combo. I don't know if there is a combo jack that. No, there is a combo input, but there is no combo. Well, you can put in all that real estate you have in the back of the piano. You can put also some XLR outputs. That would be really appreciated to lower the things you need to carry to the stage every time you are going to play. So here it is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, hello from the future, Studiologic. Hoping that you listen the video, not only listening enough, just enough to counter my arguments, but to really hear about what you could improve, in my humble opinion, in my specific needs. I have a proposition. Maybe the solution to all of this is to have a swarm of engineers and a swarm of musicians, high-end musicians, high-quality musicians at your disposal. And I know how to get them for free, totally free. If under some kind of license, some kind of proprietary license, limited license, not under GLP or any other open software license, but a private limiting license. If you publish the code, or at least some part of the code, you will have that swarm of musicians, programmers, and even more. You will have programmers that are also musicians and that knows the thing at your disposal. And I am one of those that for free are going to help to improve any of the flaws that this keyboard have right now. but it's, you know, it's just a matter of wanting to do the things. It's nothing impossible. I just rather prefer, if I were the owner of such a good a good platform. It's a platform. It's not to be a full-fledged product. You need a better software to accompany the platform. But if I were the owner of such amazing platform, I would give that step and publish at least some part of the code, the UI or something like that. Not critical like the audio engine that is critical for you, but something that allows more, you know, ways to work with the piano other than just being a piano with a little bit of flavor. So yeah, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe that's the solution. But if you see in the 3D printer world, that has worked marvels for some really small companies that are producing a lot of good products, open source products, and some not that good, but they have a really good market because there is people whiling all the time to fix and to improve the things. So hope this, I sincerely hope this reach to your ears and to your consideration, because I would really hate to drop this keyword. So continue with the video. If you are not bored to this point, I'm going to proceed to expand a little bit on some points that I feel that are key points, okay? In the good parts, there is nothing to say. Those are the good things. In the bad part, especially the independent volume control, you could add, for example, here you have a select, and you can select if you want to control here in this knob the USB audio level or the audio of the 4 inputs level. But you can also allow to control the headphones level, for example. Or when you select the control the volume from here, you can leave the outputs to the main outputs to a fixed level and allow us to use this knob, the volume knob, to control the volume of the headphones. That is to use the piano itself as a monitoring gadget. Okay. I already use that, and indeed I am using that right now with this little headphone amplifier, and I am monitoring what I am talking and everything that I am recording. So it has that potential. Okay. On the input routing limitation, I already explained it. It's just I would like to use the inputs to send the audio just to the USB to process it and get it through the USB, not to send everything to the main outputs. Maybe just just to select the first two to the USB and the second two to the main out. Okay, that would be enough. Okay, you have a good motorcycle. On the half-cooked MIDI implementation, the problem is that you cannot control. You can control some parameters, some superficial parameters of the piano. Indeed, I am doing that in the iPad. Okay, you can assign effects, you can control some things, but you cannot control, for example, the ones that are when you zoom in into a specific zone. For example, these parameters, these are controllable, but these ones no. Okay, I need to control those. And also the inputs, the analog inputs are not controllable via MIDI. That is especially important because you could just simply provide a very cheap MIDI controller with faders and everything to each one of the team members to control their own sound. Or I can have a MIDI controller here in another surface, sorry, and control the volumes of the people. The problem is that while I'm playing, I need to come here and then just to adjust the volume, and then should go out of the menu, and I need more. This piano screams for more quick access through other means than the ones that Studiologic thinks that they should provide. Okay. Half-baked physical controls. I already explained this and the necessity that I have, and also the other thing why I need this more control on these knobs to control more parameters is because the seamless transition is not working correctly, as I demonstrated already. So if I can, for example, mute certain things or do more things with this, I could rely less on changing parameters, which is something that I am doing. I currently have one song here. Where it is? I forgot where it is. This one. It starts with a flute, and later I have to select this piano and the strings. Okay, and to do that I have to touch these three things, because for me it's really hard to switch the parameter to another song first, because I don't have like a good tool to organize my own sounds. Okay, that's something that I'm going to speak later. But secondly, because it is you have to even remember to put the fingers in a correct position, and you have to press them like at the same time, because if not you get something like this, or you get something like this, or it's really weird. So in the middle of the song I have to do something like this. And it's I have to have a lot of strong muscle memory to remember to do that, and I have to, after the fact, I have to keep an eye on the thing, because sometimes I miss one button and I do some mess here. Changing parameters is not possible because the flute needs to enter together with the piano and then swap only to the piano. So it's kind of complicated move. Relative parameter control. There is a relative. You can assign only the piano, only the expression pedal, and the mod wheel stick, and a few other control surfaces, but you cannot assign anything else. And the few things you can assign, then it's flowed, because the parameters move on unison. Okay, if you assign different volumes, different sounds volume to the pedal, to the same pedal, then as soon as you move the pedal, all of the sounds are going to default to the same level as the pedal. So why to bother to implement that if you are going to do it in a wrong way? Please. Let's see. The Rotary speaker, the Leslie speaker especially. I don't know anyone on their sane mind that uses Hammond-like organ without a Leslie speaker. Okay, that was also a polemic back in the days between Hammond and Leslie, the creator of the Leslie speaker. Hammond was in the mindset that his Hammond was perfect and it didn't need a Leslie speaker, and Leslie and the users finally realized that no, the sounds are way better with a Leslie speaker. And let me demonstrate that. This is only the organ without any effect. And to assign a Leslie speaker, you must come to the second effect. There is no anymore. Before it was present also in the first effect band, but now it's only on the second effect band, and you have to long press it, select, go down, down, select the rotary, and now let's look how it sounds. Sorry, I am in the wrong song. Sorry. Okay, this one. Long press, select the rotary. Okay, much better. But if I move the mod wheel, there is that wobbly thing that is because they automatically assign the stick to the mod wheel, and the mod wheel makes this weird modulation to any of the, it doesn't matter which instrument you select, it is going to apply that wobbly thing. So in order to assign the stick, okay, the mod wheel stick, let me see if I can open the camera a little bit. Okay, this stick here, you have to come here. Let me go back to the previous, because that is important in the screen. Okay, you have to, how it is, you have to come, no, you have to zone into the zone, move the stick to the left, go down, 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 down until you find the stick 2x. You see it is in global, you have to look for effects B parameter 1, okay, and hit OK. And now you have the Leslie speaker. Let me do it again, but in a faster pace. Okay, I am in the 4th zone, rotary speaker. I have to go to the zoom to the zone, go to the left, go down, 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 stick 2x, effects B parameter 1, hit OK. Much better. That's something that you could do here. For example, if I surpass 64, now in 64 is just the stop. Something that would be really useful is if you hear, or here, the pan is okay, but here instead of that parameter that I don't really know what it does. Okay, it's like the amplitude. More mono, more stereo. Okay, it's okay, but it really needs a parameter where you control the actual speed of the rotary. Okay. Anyways, continue moving on. You now know how to set up the Leslie speaker. The inconsistent sustain model, as I already shown in the strings, for example. That the volume starts to stack up, but instead in other strings there is an effect that I've been using a lot. Let me see if I have it here somewhere. Let me pause this once I have located. Forget it, I didn't find that, but I'm using a really nice effect, which I have a script, or someone allowed me to generate that script. Is Wim in Audio Forums for the Mosaic plugin. That script, what it does is that it applies, as you might know, this is not okay. If you play an organ and you touch the sustain pedal, there are some people that assign the rotary speed to the sustain pedal, but I personally use the sustain pedal to sustain the notes, because sometimes I use pianos or maybe other instrument together with the I use some pianos and some other instruments together with the organ, and that gives a really good feeling. And something that I really like of the sustain pedal on an organ is that when you play a chord and you play again the same chord, it makes nothing. The organ doesn't trigger anything. Okay, it is just a flat chord without any modifications, just because the valves or the discs are wide open and they cannot close and open again. They are just open as the sustain pedal is telling it. And I did apply that effect to the strings, and the strings gain a different life because the strings just play continuously with whatever thing you do in the chord to make some kind of arpeggio or something like that in the same chord, but the strings keep constantly, and it sounds like the strings are accompanying you and are supporting you. They are not stacking up in volume, and they are not cutting off like is happening here in these strings. When I apply the effect, it plays like that, and I do, and the strings keeps constant and at one volume perfectly, and I really love that effect. So speaking of the different sustain models, I really would like to Studiologic for allow us to change the different sustain models on each of the strings or each of the instruments too, because there are situations where I need one or another. The attack and release not working properly. Maybe I have to select this one. No, this one. There was one. As you can hear, these strings start slow, and if I come here and I decrease the attack to make it faster, still they start slow. They should start like ping immediately. It seems that they are applying the attack and release, or they are recording the attack and release from factory baked into the instrument. As I said before, what Cinematics does is that they apply a zero attack to all of the instruments on the recording, and then later they apply the amount of attack they consider for that specific instrument. And that is important, because if you are going to apply one or another sustain pedal model, you will need to tweak the attack and release to suit the different models, and that is not possible currently with the scheme of sounds they have. And something that I would like to see that is not present is that whenever you choose a bass instrument, like here, there is a nice feature that I made also for Mosaic, or I didn't make it, it's available, that it doesn't matter which chord you play, it is going to filter all of the notes except the low one, okay, the lowest one. So it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you are playing in chords, it is going to hold the lowest one. That would be really nice to have it, and it's a shame that it's not present right now. On the key sensitivity, it's a problem, as I already demonstrated. I have to hear the instrument really hard in order to reach the intended maximum velocity. Or I have to go to the iPad and filter and make some shenanigans with a MIDI to get the MIDI through the iPad and send it back to the instrument and apply some velocity remapping like this one. And that is because the key sensitivity, there is not so much that you can do on the key sensitivity. In the Cell's studio and in the Cell MIDI controllers, there used to be a feature where you could draw your own sensitivity, not only for the sensitivity of the keys, but you could draw the sensitivity difference between the white and the black keys, for example, each black and white key. They already made that, okay? In here, you play the key, and you increase or decrease the sensitivity, and you have the balance between the black and the white keys, and you can control it. But it's needed like you had in the Cell series. Okay, let's move on. The set list mode I already demonstrated is cumbersome. The lack of seamless transition is making it worse. Okay. For example, every time I hit any key here to get out of any edition that I am making, for example here, if I hit here, it goes back, it defaults to the soundbacks. It should stay on favorites. More presets are needed for the favorites. You see? Why? Really, why? More presets. You have 2 GB free on the device. You can put 1,000 without occupying even like 2, 3, 20 megabytes of that free memory you have already in the flash memory. So more favorites, more favorite groups, and more presets. Okay, that's needed. User samples, as I said before. And something that I want to highlight ending this video is that yes, you can copy a program. For example, if I have, for example, I don't know, this one. $235. I can get this program, press the button on the main encoder, or no, hit OK, select the destination, and I can move this to the P235, or I can rename it, and hit OK, and it's copied, and I have the same program on 235 and in 240. But a feature that the piano is really needing is the move function. You see, I would like to organize the sounds in a way that suits a particular set list. Remembering that you don't have a set list, okay, I would like to have that move function here. It could be like hitting OK and going left to right. Like left is move, right is copy. and then move that one to reorganize all of the sounds without the need of disconnecting my iPad, bringing on my laptop, connected to the laptop, turning on the laptop, turn on or launch the application, make the organization, hit apply, shut down the application, shut down the laptop, connect it back to the iPad, reload. You know what I mean? It could be really easy if you have it baked into the piano itself. Really easy. It doesn't matter if once I hit OK, the piano takes its time to reorganize all its memory. But I need that one, because sometimes I am with my teammates and they say like, hey, can you do a specific effect on this scene? And what I do is that I go to the song that I have named like Barco 1, and I apply some different effect, and I rename it like Barco 2. It's the same song, the same things on the scene, but slightly different effects or slightly different things. So if I have a move functionality, I can incorporate that back into the organization I had previously, because sometimes I already have like many songs one after another, and I have to go to an empty space, craft the thing, copy the scene that I want, craft the thing, and then move back that song to the place I want, which is alongside the original scene, and like that. Sometimes I have songs that have like 8 different scenes with slightly different variations to accommodate to the vocalist and the rest of the teammates are making. Okay, so that is a function that is really needed. And lastly, as I said before, seamless transition. It is working. It is somewhat working, but for some reason, I don't know, the sounds fade away. Let me make a change here. So here's an example. I have this, I don't know. I'll go back here. So the seamless transition is somewhat working, but there is something that disables it as soon as you switch the parameter. Let me show you in this view. So if I do this, for example, and if I do that in the iPad, so that is really needed for a stage piano. And I think that's it. It's already 1 hour of me speaking at this kind of slow pace. Sorry for that. I hope you find this video useful for you. I don't pretend to send hate to the piano, but it's my honest point of view of the piano. As I said at the beginning, if you're a pianist that needs a little bit of sauce here and there to accompany that piano with another things, this is more than perfect. The keys are just perfect. But if you are a modern player, you will need something like the Kurzweil PC4 or something like that, which is the one that I am looking right now, that I think that I am going to pick and that I'm going to switch for this one. I would love to have the money to have both. I would keep this in the home for practicing, for making things on the computer, for programming MIDI and things like that, and I would keep the PC4 for the stage specifically. It seems to be a workhorse. I need to test it yet, but let's see if I can change this piano for a PC4 and do some tutorial videos like I did with this one. There are so many advanced features that piano have that it would be really interesting for me to test. Well, thank you very much, and see you in the next Random Tech video. Bye bye.